Hi, I'm Dan Milliken, Director of Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing State Services.
I'm Darlene Zangara, Executive Director of the Minnesota Commission of the Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing.
Many people think that Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing State Services and the Minnesota Commission of the Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing are the same organization.
It's easy to understand why people get confused. Both are Minnesota organizations. Both focus on issues facing deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing Minnesotans. And both were created thanks to the Minnesota Association of Deaf Citizens and other community activists who were not satisfied with the programs, services, and funding that were available to support deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing Minnesotans.
However, we are separate organizations that do very different work. State Services was created in 1980. Our purpose is to put the governor's agenda into action. State Services must follow state regulations and Minnesota Department of Human Services policies. We also follow the budget set by DHS. State Services provides direct services to deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing people, their parents and family members, human service providers, and others who work with people who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing. We do this by providing information, resources and referrals, and grants to support deafblind services, family mentoring services, mental health services, and real-time captioning for local news. Through MinAct 2, we support access to the phone for people who have hearing loss, or a physical or speech disability. We also provide mental health services to adults who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing, and connect parents of children who are deaf, deafblind, or hard of hearing with community mental health resources.
The Commission was created in 1985. We are governed by an independent board. Board members are appointed by the governor. At least 50% of the board must be deaf, deafblind, or hard of hearing. At least one board member must be a parent of an individual who is deaf, deafblind, or hard of hearing. We also have non-voting ex officio members chosen by the commissioners of the Departments of Education, Health and Employment and Economic Development, and the director of the Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing State Services. The board decides the purpose, big picture goals of the commission. I, with help from my staff and contractors, am responsible for interpreting the board's instructions. I also must report to the board about how our work is progressing. The commission advises the governor, legislators, state agencies, and the judicial branch to ensure their policies and programs are inclusive to Minnesotans who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing. We develop and pursue public policy solutions to barriers. We serve as the principal agency of the state to advocate on behalf of Minnesotans who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing by working to ensure equal access to the services, programs, and opportunities available to others. The Commission advocates for communication access and equal opportunity with the 20% of Minnesotans who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing.
State Services and the Commission stay in close contact. We sometimes partner on specific issues. For example, State services and the Commission share the responsibility of distributing information about over-the-counter hearing aids.
State services representatives sometimes serve on commission task forces and work groups. In addition, up to 5 State Services Advisory Committee members are also Commission board members. State Services staff and Commission staff frequently check in with each other to ensure our respective roles and responsibilities are working well.
To learn more about state services, visit State Services website.
To learn more about the Commission, explore the Commission's website.
Contact Minnesota Department of Human Services, Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing State Services Division. Phone 800-657-3663 voice or preferred relay. Video phone 651-964-1514. Email dhs.dhhsd@state.mn.us. Web mn.gov/deaf-hard-of-hearing. Copyright 2025, State of Minnesota, Department of Human Services. Website mn.gov/dhs/videos.